Go ahead. Full name, date of birth? Full name, date of birth?
Huh?
Name and date of birth.
First February 6.
All right. You were arrested yesterday, charged with possession of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. I appoint the Legal Defender's Office to represent you. Your problem is that at the time this is alleged to have occurred, yesterday you were on felony release on another felony.
No.
You're not?
Oh, I think, but that's
No.
a different.
Well, let me tell you what it is, okay? You were previously charged with possession of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, possession of drug paraphernalia. A Class 6 felony, a status conference was scheduled on June 27th. You didn't show up. They issued a warrant for your arrest. I'll be getting to that in just a moment. There's a $500 bond set on the arrest warrant in that case. Your next court date will be July 18th at 8:30 in Superior Court in downtown Phoenix on the older case. But on the case you were just arrested on yesterday, I appoint the Legal Defender's Office to represent you. You'll be held without bond at least until your next court date in the new arrest, which will be July 16th at 8:30 in Superior Court in downtown Phoenix.
So, will I be released today?
What's that?
Will I be released?
Everything you hear me say on the record will be contained on the sheet or the release order that you receive when you step back into that room. Okay?
Oh.
Go ahead. Have a
I'm
seat.
not released today?
You're not released yet. Victor Gomez, and then it'll be Brian Gilday. Full name, date of birth.
Victor Gomez.
Yes, sir. You were arrested. Let's see. Actually, you were arrested yesterday and charged with possession of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony. I appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your situation is the same as the last defendant. You were on felony release on another felony charge. You had failed to show up at a status conference on July 8th on charges of dangerous drugs and possession of narcotic drugs also. When you didn't show up in that case, that was July 8th, a warrant for your arrest was issued with a $500 bond. Next court date, July 16th at 8:30 Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. You're also on felony probation, and a revocation arraignment hearing for a probation violation was scheduled on June 27th. When you didn't show up, they issued a warrant for your arrest with a $500 bond. Next court date in that matter, July 17th at 8:30 in Superior Court, downtown Phoenix. Then, on the case that you were arrested on yesterday, because you were on felony release on the case you didn't show up on the status conference on, you'll be held without bond at least until your next court date, which will be July 16th at 8:30 in Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. And that order's handed to you right now. All right, Brian Gilday, and then it will be Melvin Glover.
I'm not sure when you go, so if you want to...
Full name, date of birth. Full name, date of birth.
Brian Gilday.
All right, Mr. Gilday. You were arrested yesterday and charged with theft of means of transportation, a Class 4 felony, and obstruction by refusing to give your correct name, at least initially, a misdemeanor. I appoint the Legal Defender's Office to represent you. You were on felony release when this is alleged to have occurred. You had previously been charged with possession of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony, possession of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. Status conference was scheduled on May 31st. When you didn't show up, they issued a warrant for your arrest with a $1,000 bond. Your next court date in that matter, July 16th at 8:30, Superior Court, downtown Phoenix. On the case that you were arrested on yesterday because you were on felony release when this is alleged to have been committed. The Legal Defender's Office is appointed to represent you, and you'll be held without bond at least until your next court date in that matter, until July 16th at 8:30. Then, you also have a warrant out of Goodyear Municipal Court. You failed to appear on a possession of dangerous drugs. In that case, and the warrant for your arrest, that was on June 24th, a $2,500 bond was set when you failed to appear in that court. Next court date will be July 17th at 8:30 in Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. What?
You said it was Goodyear?
Yeah, it was Goodyear Municipal Court.
I thought it was just a misdemeanor.
Well, I know, but they, looking at how they marked it, I know that it was a misdemeanor, probably. But it shouldn't have been. Possession of dangerous drugs is a felony, Class 4 felony. For some reason, this is being, because this occurred in the jurisdiction of Goodyear Municipal Court, which only handles misdemeanors, not felonies.
Right.
Okay, and I don't know what to tell you because I don't know the whole history of this. That may be what they have printed on my screen. It might be just possession of drug paraphernalia, which is can be a Class 6 felony or Class 1 misdemeanor. But anyway, the warrant was issued with a $2,500 bond, next court date July 17th. Then you are on felony probation for a conviction of possession of narcotic drugs. A revocation arraignment hearing was scheduled on June 18th. When you failed to appear, they issued a warrant for your arrest in that case with a $500 bond. Your next court date in that matter will be July 17th at 8:30. There you go. There's your release order. Melvin Glover is, by the way, is counsel. Oh, Mr. Counsel, all right.
Good morning, Your Honor.
How are you? Good morning. Full name, date of birth, please.
Melvin Rashid Glover Jr.
And present with counsel.
Kevin Crowley, appearing on behalf of Mr. Glover.
All right, thank you. Arrest warrant has been issued by a grand jury that heard evidence against Mr. Glover, and on June 27th, a warrant for his arrest was issued with a $10,000 bond. The policy of initial appearance court here in Superior Court, I don't know if you're familiar with it or not, but arrest warrants that are issued with a $10,000 bond or more are not modified at this proceeding. This, to me, is a good example of a case where it probably should be. But I'm going to follow the policy that is universally followed here for years, and pretrial services recommended even that he be released on his own recognizance. But because I'm going to follow the policy that we have here, the $10,000 bond will be left in place, and his next court date will be July 17th at 8:30 in Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. And we'll get a copy of that release order to you in just a moment.
And that would be...
that was, where did I say, July 17th at 8:30 at a not guilty arraignment hearing, and I can't tell you exactly what floor it's going to be on, all right?
That's fine.
All right. Daniel Mendoza, and then after Mr. Mendoza will be Becky Alcala. Is there a Daniel Mendoza around? No, here, over there in front of the lectern. Give me your full name, date of birth, please.
Daniel Mendoza.
All right, Mr. Mendoza, you're on felony probation here in Maricopa County. They continued violated conditions of probation, and a warrant for your arrest was issued on April 25th. with a $250 bond. Your next court date now will be your revocation arraignment hearing, Superior Court, downtown Phoenix, July 17th at 8:30.
Okay.
And there's your order right there.
So I don't have to serve any, I will be released today?
If you post $250.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Make sure you show up on the date and time on that release one. Okay. Becky Alcala, and then it'll be Robert Aguirre. Right behind that lectern, and give me your full name, date of birth, please.
Becky Lucero Alcalá.
Date of birth. Right, ma'am, you're on felony probation here in Maricopa County. They contend you violated conditions of probation on April 18th. A warrant for your arrest was issued with a $2,000 bond. Your next court date will be your revocation arraignment hearing, Superior Court, downtown Phoenix, July 17th at 8:30.
I was supposed to go to Crossroads.
Listen, if your probation officer, does your probation officer know that?
I told her that.
What you need to do is call your probation officer and say, I have a feeling they didn't know that, right?
Okay.
Okay, and so they couldn't, and this warrant's been out since April.
Okay.
And let me see, I will tell you,
So what's gonna happen?
Let me just tell you, whoops, that's not it. I will tell you what the petition to revoke said. I bet you haven't talked to him since before this. Yeah, the warrant was issued on April 18th.
They picked me up on a mistake.
But I'm just telling you that
Yes.
if you don't keep in contact with your probation officer, they don't understand the things that are going on in your life.
Okay.
And they have no choice but to go. And when you don't, April 18th, the petition to revoke, if I can get that up on my screen here, there we go.
I have my
It says that defendant has absconded, did not report as directed on April 10th.
I got kicked out of my home.
Well, anyway, I'm just telling you why they issued this warrant. Attempts to locate you by phone with family members, collateral resources, and booking records. They couldn't find you. That's basically what you could have done to avoid having the warrant issued. Is you know how to contact your probation officer. Next time, make sure you stay in touch.
Okay.
I'm not changing what the petition, the arrest order says. All right, there you go.
Do I call her and let her know?
Yeah, well, she'll know. She'll be notified. But if you think that once that your probation officer is notified of what your situation is and you're going to Crossroads, they might change what should be done with you. Contact her, and they'll notify us. The probation department will if they agree. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
There you go.